thank you. And thank you everyone for coming out on such a sort of miserable Vancouver day. As Woody Allen says, 80% of success is just turning up, so you're winning already. Speaking of winners, I must congratulate Gwen Preston because she's been doing a tremendous job, and she had a serious win in her portfolio recently with the takeout of Atlantic Gold. So she's a great person to follow and is doing a tremendous job. So look, we want to talk to you about IsoEnergy. You'll see the name of the presentation up there, the coming uranium boom and why it will be easy for you to profit. So let's get into that. I'll put something up here and just challenge you a little bit, probably on a Saturday afternoon. You really don't want to be asked questions, but I'll ask you, this is a share price chart for a uranium play. That red dot is when Fukushima, that flooding of that nuclear plant happened. That share price chart, exploration company, you'd wonder what happens next. Now, we listed that company back in 2013, and you'd think that it probably didn't go too well given dropping uranium prices. But watch what happened to that share price chart when we made a discovery and then put out a resource, and it went ballistic. We delivered shareholders of NextGen Energy, which I was a co-founder of with my chairman, Lee Courier, back in 2012. We've delivered shareholders over 50 times their money in the worst markets that anyone's ever seen for uranium. So a discovery in uranium can deliver outstanding shareholder returns. More broadly, though, the uranium market pre-Fukushima had a combined market capitalisation of $150 billion. Today, about $15 billion. So a fraction of what that market was once worth. And we know when the rising tide, all boats float, we can expect at some point that market's going to return to normal trading. And so the beta potential, if you like, the broader market potential is extraordinary in itself. And you as investors, the job's largely done for you. There were 500 listed uranium equities 5 or 6 years ago. Through, it's been a case of survival of the fittest and failure. And that number's about 70 now, and we reckon in our analysis there's probably only about 30 names that you would think that are worthy, that are active, that you could actually invest in. So in large part that job's been done for you. So if you're going to build a portfolio of uranium companies and benefit from this impending or pending boom, you could build a basket, a portfolio of uranium stocks and position yourself that way. Or you can identify and buy companies drilling a high-grade uranium discovery right now. And it just so happens we have one of those. Steve Blower's out there in the audience. Steve's our Vice President of Exploration. I call him the Tom Brady of the Athabasca Basin. He's been involved in 2 major discoveries. He helped deliver us our original resource at NextGen. He's done a tremendous job, and here he's made another discovery with a great piece of work. You can see there that core tray from our hole 1909, which we drilled earlier this year. That black mineralisation, that's pitch blende, big, thick intercept of very high-grade uranium mineralisation. You see there, LE 1902, we drilled 3.5 metres at 10% uranium. That, in gold equivalent terms, is 3.5 metres at 150 grams per tonne gold. So really astonishing high-grade intercepts. And you can see that we've got a bunch of other intercepts like that. Now, we're very excited in that we're now starting to get cut through in the market. I think we're seeing a return to fund managers investing in the space. And we're finally even getting analysts to take a look at us apart from Gwen. And you can see the comment there from Colin Healy this week. Results of our winter drilling program at Hurricane, in our view, represent the most interesting and promising uranium exploration results we've seen from a new discovery in any jurisdiction for some time. So we're finally getting there. We're getting traction with the market, and I think there's more of that to come. Now, just to step back a little bit about our strategy. We spun our assets in the eastern Athabasca out of NextGen back in 2016, got the company listed. We've raised about $17 million over the past 3 years. That's one of the things that sets us apart. We've been able to raise funds when our competitors haven't been, and that's allowed us to do deals on properties and be very active on the exploration front when other people haven't been. And so our strategy's been very, very simple. Put your foot on as much of that very fertile, highly prospective eastern Athabasca as you can, and drill around mineralised intercepts that were found but never adequately followed up after 2011. Everyone stopped. So there were a lot of first and second pass mineralised intercepts that were tantamount to discoveries that had never been followed up. So pretty straightforward strategy. And also, we were taking our lessons from our Great Arrow deposit in NextGen, basement-hosted deposit, and employing that in the eastern Athabasca, where those types of deposit have never effectively been explored before. And we've got a big portfolio of properties out there in that very prospective area. But just moving in, our La Roque East tenement, we bought this off Cameco back in May 2018. We had a drill rig on the property 6 weeks later, and 8 weeks later we announced our discovery drill hole. So it's one of the sort of fastest paths to discovery I've ever been involved with. I'm very excited. Obviously those red and green lines represent conductive terrain units, graphitic terrain units, where you get those high-grade uranium deposits in the eastern Athabasca. We've got over 25 kilometres of strike extent to that to test over that property. And you'll see down in the southwestern corner there our Hurricane discovery. A little bit zooming in a bit closer to that Hurricane discovery. So this is the drilling that we've now completed. We've drilled 13 drill holes. 12 of those have hit mineralisation. That suggests to me that, we're either very lucky, we're good at what we do, or the deposit has got some scale and potential to it. And I think it's probably a combination of all three. If you believe my wife, it's just luck. But so look, that's that 200 metres long at the moment. You'll see that big red arrow pointing out to the east. There's a drill hole out there right on the east of that map there, Kerr 7, that was a mineralised intercept, has strong alteration in it, all the things you'd want to see in a hole that was peripheral to the deposit. So there are plenty of pointers to suggest that that deposit continues well out to the east, and that's what we'll be doing come this summer, testing all of those things. And you can see some of the key features of the deposit we've got there. Very importantly, we're only 40 kilometres away from Orano's McLean Lake Mill, which is underfed at the moment and has plenty of extra capacity. And then just zooming in again, a couple of sections of the deposit. You can see our discovery section there where we had that 3.5 metres at 10%. The deposit sits in at the unconformity, very sort of similar to Denison's Giant Phoenix deposit or Cameco's Cigar Lake in terms of shape and size, 5 metres thick on average, 40 metres wide. And as I say, strike length hasn't been determined yet. And you can see there's plenty of more to test on those sections that we haven't yet closed off. So what are we going to be doing? We're well funded. We've got $4 million in the bank at the moment. And we'll be getting in and doing some very aggressive step outs along that strike to the east and testing the full extent of the ore body. So, this will be very exciting. If we see that deposit potentially proving up to be over 1 kilometre long, then we're on to something very, very significant. So watch out for those drill results. And then on section, that's sort of our heat map, if you like. The red zones are the high grade mineralisation, and you'll see there those yellow dots are our proposed drill holes. So we've got a lot of infill drilling to do. Whilst you can never guarantee good drill results, the chances of hitting some really good holes in there are very, very good, I think. A little bit on the share price. Gwen picked us back, I think probably July last year after we drilled that drill hole, so about 27 cents. I think we're at about 40 cents today, so another great call by Gwen. Very importantly, as Gwen says, your share structure has to be right, and we've got about 70 million shares out, $30 million market cap today, $4 million in the bank, and then very importantly, NextGen owns 54% of the company, a number of common board members between the two companies as well. Great supportive shareholder. NextGen's got about 100 million in the bank at the moment. Li Ka-shing's our major backer there. So we're in a good position. They're not selling, and I think at the end of the day, they'd like to own more of the company. And then we've got Cameco and Orano there, so the other uranium majors in the world, and 20% institutional. So there's probably only about 20% of the stock actually out there to trade. So really good share structure, offers a lot of torque when we get in and drill those high-grade results. So in summary, uranium prices can't stay this low for much longer. Prices have started to rise, and they're going to continue to do so. And as prices will rise, the whole market will as well. Few companies exist to build a basket of or a portfolio of those companies, but discoveries still matter, and you see that in our share price, you see that in NextGen share price. So we think, if you want to, you want to get involved, back a company that's got a recent high-grade discovery, and I think we're the only one out there at the moment. And then wait. when a uranium market rallies, it can be a spectacular thing. And as Rick Rule says so very well, I think Paladin, he invested in at 5 cents. It went to $10. Astonishing market. So, and just on that front, to close off, a little bit of food for thought there. NextGen versus ISO Discovery Timeline and share price. You can see we're really at the earliest of stages. That red line, of course, NextGen share price in green. Our orange line there. We've got a long way to go as we deliver more good drill results in the coming months. And we'll be drilling in 4 weeks' time, so look out for those results. Thanks very much. Thanks, Gwen.